All right. Yay! All right, we're just gonna freaking paint. If you want to read the blurb, I don't want to spoiler people who are watching this who haven't even like looked at my first book. But if you want to read the blurb, go to aebeckerwrites.com and click on the books. Then scroll down past the first two books, and you will see the actual blurb. It may change slightly. However, it is for reals. It is the reals blurb. So, great. Yes, aebeckerwrites.com. That last one. Go there, click on the books, scroll down past East of the Sun and West of the Moon to North of the Wind. There is currently just a placeholder cover on there because I haven't finalized the last one. Yes, mockery of those who mock Spelljammer. For sure. For sure. So let us hope that the reset worked, and I'm just going to start working on the skin tone. But suffice to say that the main characters in Book 3 are Tor, who's the younger brother of Sadis and Sola herself. Book 4, which is going to be, obviously coming after Book 3, sometime later next year, will be main characters Ash and Kimbri, of all things. And if you don't know who those people are, you should read my books. I think I'm going to have to do like a series on the trolls, though, because everybody likes my trolls, my sexy trolls. So, giant space hamster, yes. Learn to paint class. Yeah, I had people choose, and we decided to do something different than the average witch, so we went for the icy violet. Although I did decide to change and go very dark with outer clothing, and I do not regret that choice. I do not regret that choice. So, yeah, we may, once we get into October, I may shift and do all this mini entirely for a couple weeks till she's done. As we get closer to Halloween. I know Quinny won't complain. But I like to paint, there are giant space hamster models on my mini factory. Yeah. Yeah, I was sad. I just missed a scenery Kickstarter that I really liked, but I was one day late. I didn't check my email, so I didn't realize it was ending when it sent out the last 24 hours or whatever, 48 hours. I did not check it in time, so I'm kind of sad. But maybe they will make it. David sent them a message on Kickstarter to see if they would let us add late. Because the buildings look amazing. All the spookiness, yes. I figured you'd be in favor, Quindy. Alright, so we've got that face. And I will put some shading in it. We'll at least do a bit of rosy tones. It would be interesting to do this model with green skin, a la Wicked Witch of the West. As I believe you were mentioning, Agent Marvel. We'll probably be painting this one exclusively later in October if we are, depending on where we are with her lady. I want to paint some spooky stuff. Luckily, the Mouseling fighting the Mouseling Wraith and the Ed summoning the Reaper Skeleton does actually count. Both of those count for spooky. So I have adequate spooky things headed into October. If we can finish, we'll probably be finished with the Scribe. We'll be finished with Angry Link. We'll probably be finished with Karindra. Yeah, we should have room to throw some spooky stuff in here. I should be able to do entirely spooky in October. Yeah, I like Minsk. Minsk is hamster. It's cute. But yeah, I like to paint spooky things when we get to spooky season. I do a couple of coats here. I have to decide if she is wearing leggings or if it's skin. I don't know. Could go either way. I'm going to see how it works. Sometimes I make the call based on just what I would prefer aesthetically, as far as when you've got legs showing. Sometimes I will make it a call based on color, like color consistency, color composition. Because the problem that I'm running into right now is that normally I would make the leggings dark, but it's right up against the dark here. Yeah, the Mousling Wraith looks really good, actually. Oh, you've got to recruit Mixed, because if you don't, you lose out on some of the best comedy voice lines in the game. Plus, when he, like, gets a crit, like, when body parts start flying, it's pretty impressive. But anyway, I haven't played Baldur's Gate for a long time. And I haven't gotten the new one because I'm just, like, I'm so not computer gaming right now. The boots are gonna be the dark color, probably, the black indigo or the black purple, whatever I mixed there. So I'm kind of feeling like I want skin here. Because then I'll be able to alternate. I need to be able to alternate my colors to make me feel good about my color. So I'm going to block it in. She's wearing a loincloth, so it's all perfectly decent. But I almost always go very dark with boots, Crowley. If I didn't go with my black indigo purple here, I would go with a really dark brown, walnut maybe. And I could do that because I have leather up here and I could go brown with this. Boots are like arguably the least important part of any figure. And you never want to draw attention to them. Not unless it's as an afterthought. So going dark with them is always a good idea. Unless you're really balancing your model well, and if you go with a light leather, but you have a lot of light leather up top too, so that you don't draw unnecessary attention. I was thinking about like fishnets or something, but I don't know. I'll still consider other options too. I'm just kind of thinking. I mean, it needs to be lighter though, and this is going to be lighter. So the problem is when you put a lot of different layers of clothing on a figure, you do run out of options, kind of. Unless you really can mix it up. Sometimes we could go with... sometimes you can put the same color next to a thing. If you put like freehand over it, it'll make it look different enough. Hey, Richard. Richard, you missed it. Although this crashed the stream earlier, so I don't know if I should do it. But here you go, Richard. I had to, Quindy. I had to try to crash the screen just a bit. My cover artist is working on it now. It's almost final. I need to change the Bear Kings book 3 to a Bear Kings book. Yeah, I got the cover. So I have to book my cover artist, Bryce, a year in advance, which means that I need to just book her and get the cover done, even though the book is not written. Because she's too popular. She's really good, and she's way too popular, and I honestly have to book her a year out. So I booked her, and I knew I know what the plot is for this book. I know the main characters. I know what happens in it. I just haven't written the rest of it, right? So I was able to do the cover. Panic watching the boot raid. So yeah, book 3 is due to be out February or March next year, Bryce. I have already started it. Today, actually, I'm going to be doing kind of an overview where I sit down and lay out all my plot points and all my characters and kind of do make sure, you know, that I have a good grok of the whole thing. I'm kind of I'm an intuitive writer, so what they would call a pantser. I do some plot layout before I begin writing. Like, there has to be a minimum amount of kind of pre-thinking that I have before I go into writing. But I do not actually plot out the entire book, scene by scene. So there's still stuff that will be a surprise to me when I write it, which is super fun. But yeah, so book 3 will be out next, it'll be out February or March. Yeah, right. No Baldur's Gate because no rating. Right. I came home like with this because I've spent a lot of time on Diablo with David and playing video games with David like prior to ReaperCon. And I lost a lot of time there. But I came home with this like hardcore, like not only did I completely crash when I came home because it was just too long of a trip and I felt like I was not myself for 2 weeks. But I also just, I guess 1 week. But I came home with this hardcore, I'm writing and painting and screw video games attitude. David like looked at me last night. He's like, "Are you done with Baldur's Gate with Diablo?" I'm like, "I'm done with Diablo." Yeah, you'll get it. You'll get it beforehand, Richard, because I'll need you to beta read. I got actual sleep last night, Grey Mouser. Actual sleep. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just can't do really long trips away from home. Or maybe it was traveling alone with Kiki in hotel rooms, which is stressful. And it was just too much stress. But I majorly tanked after ReaperCon. Like, there was a reason that I panic drove the last day. I turned the last 2 days into 1 day to get home. Because my intuition, my gut was like, you cannot survive this anymore, get home. So whatever it is with me, I got home and I just like, woomph. Like, I have not felt like myself until today. Which means there will be no more Kiki at ReaperCon, sorry y'all. You either met her this year or you're just gonna have to be without a Kiki. An actual Kiki meeting. I don't regret doing it. It probably taught me my limits. There. All right. Did you see the cover, Zachariah? I actually like road trips, Grey Mouser, but with the dog, it's just too much. Yes, good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't want to show it again and have Twitch completely shut down, or OBS. Alrighty. We've got a little bit of flash hanging off that. Up there. There. So I like the balance of warm tones now that we do when he did the leggings, so maybe we will do sheer stockings or something. Yeah, the shots totally put me out. I was still not quite feeling myself even before the shots. I think we'll just get a sitter next year. Yeah, it is. It exhausts you, Agent Marvel, because you've got somebody else kind of freaking out. You know, someone else you cannot fully communicate with. Yeah, as someone else who doesn't understand what's going on, and you have to deal with that, and it just exhausts. It's just exhausting. I'm just learning that as I get older, like, I don't want the disruption anymore. Like, I used to welcome disruption, probably when I wasn't as happy with my life. But now, really, I want to just hunker down not travel, and write my books. Like, I want that. I want my stability. Like, that's what I want to do at this stage in my life. I told David already, I'm like, I don't know how many trips I'm going to be up for in the future. But he's kind of a guy, luckily I married the right guy. He's kind of a guy who really feels like most people just want like one big trip a year, right? So he's like pretty much for it. Like, we're even considering not going to Adepticon next year. And I don't know if I would go anyway. Like, I don't think I want to go back to Adepticon unless I've got some competition entries that I want to seriously enter some stuff. And I don't know that that's going to happen because my focus is on writing. I'm too old for this stuff. Yeah, I know. You can't even handle just yourself freaking out. Yeah, exactly, right? Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you didn't want to bring the hamsterling. Until the hamsterling is older and can actually be communicated with and not have meltdowns, right? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. Like, and I am like just I'm getting some liner out, by the way, because we're gonna line around the hands and the face and do the mouth and the eyes real quick. But yeah, it's just too much. And plus, when I bring the dog, there's so much extra crap I have to bring just to support the dog, right? Because I have to bring the pen for the bedroom, or I won't get any sleep. I have to bring her food, which meant bringing the freezer. I have to, make sure I've got enough room in the cooler for her stuff. I've got to bring dog blankets, dog supplies, dog food, dog treats. I got to bring all this crap just because of the keeks. And I've got to haul that stuff in and out of the car every day. So, oh, bye, Zachariah. But yeah, so it's just too much for me. It's just too much. I just don't want to do it anymore. And I'm old enough that I can just say no. But yeah, I don't think David's going to fight me too much on it. He's kind of a homebody too. He likes to have a nice trip every once in a while. But yeah, I'm kind of feeling like we're not going to be traveling too much in the coming year or two. Like, I'd still like to get over to Europe with him, but again, we're going to need the dog sitter for that. And I don't know that I'm up for that anytime soon. So we're just going to line around the face there to bring the face out from the hair. Haven't decided on hair color yet. Weirdly, I may make her blonde because it'll go with the violet. Yeah, pretty much Twisted Oma. Pretty much. King second and anxiety. Yes, get off my lawn. Exactly. Yeah, we were thinking of Europe because Monte Sansevino, and also just like I would like to get to France. I would like to see the Louvre. I speak a little bit of French. I would relearn it for that sort of trip. But yeah, Monte is the one thing, Bryce, that would maybe do it. Yeah, I think it was just doing the 11, it was supposed to be 12 days. That was just too much. It's just too much for me. Can't do it. I'm even considering shortening, because I haven't made my hotel reservations for the drive out, but for the national show, for the dog, I was going to take 2.5 days getting out and back, and now I'm thinking maybe I take 2. Waves vaguely southwards. Yeah, I think a pale blonde is what I was eating. Kind of an icy blonde. Yeah, we have a good dog sitter. It's just he's also in demand Pendrake, so I have to book him out a long time in advance. So we have him booked for our October trip for Hawaii. But yeah, after that, it's just too stressful. I'm just like, ugh. Too dang stressful. In some ways, I almost regret getting the dog because the travel would have been easier if we didn't have her. But we knew that. We knew that going in. So my answer is just to cut back on travel. Like, if we go up to visit David's parents, like, if I drive to Arizona once a year to visit my folks, and we drive up to visit David's parents once a year just for a couple days to visit for his mom's birthday in the summer, and then we go to ReaperCon, like, I'm done. Like, I'm just like, that's good. That's good for now. I took French in high school and college, Richard, and I've always wanted to see the Louvre and some of the other great art sites around Paris or around France rather. And I would like to go to Italy and see Venice and Florence, and again because I'm an art nerd. So but that's on my list, and it doesn't have to be on my list like right this instant, right? But yeah, we would like to get out to Monty. But if we're going to go to Monty, I would kind of like to have a big project done for that, right? So it's also, it's in the fall. So we got to kind of look at, like, what we're willing to do. Like, how much crap we have crammed into the fall, which this year it's just too much, to be fair. Oh no. Yeah, that's bad, Hyper Bunny. Yeah, see, that's a problem with dog sitters. Like, we almost had ours cancel on us for this Hawaii trip. Like, he almost ran into a work thing because he's got a regular job, right? Dog sitting isn't his only gig. He just does it because he loves dogs, and it's a good side gig for him. He's a young, self-employed, consultant guy. So, like, just that almost happening made my blood pressure skyrocket. And it's something that can happen. It's just a pain in the butt. Like, that's where, actually, in our future trips, we did have had both sets of parents offer to come to our house and dog sit Kiki so we can take trips. So, both sets of our parents have offered to do that. And that's the nice thing about living in the Bay Area is that people want to come and visit it. Keep come and visit it. So, oh, yeah, it's too bad, Hyper Bunny. Yeah, sorry about that. Well, some people just don't have the maturity. Or they just, I don't know, hate to be wrong. Or don't want to, like, I guess they didn't treasure the friendship as much as they could have. That's too bad. But, it happens. At least you know what you're dealing with. But yeah, so I think if we do take any big trips from here on out, like, might be parent puppy sitting rather than our dog sitter. Like, I don't like that whole, well, this isn't my real job, so something came up. Oh yeah, because you have multiples. Like you dog father, and actually the Shiloh friends we have in Texas who actually took Blazy when I had to rehome her. They've got 4 Shilohs. They, without a dog sitter, they'd be up a creek. Like, at that point, when you've got multiple dogs, the dog sitter that you find who is dependable is, like, worth their weight in gold. But yeah, so if we want to go to Europe, I'm pretty sure we'll be either contacting my parents or his parents and saying, so we're looking at a European vacation. You guys said you wanted to watch our house and our dog. What's good for you? Because we can trust our parents. I trust my parents, honestly, a bit more than his parents. But as Kiki gets older, it'll be easier. Yeah, exactly, Grey Mouser. We're running into that with one of our neighbors, actually. She hit David's car, and now she's hiding from him. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, people are people. I give them the benefit of the doubt, but I also reserve the right not to, like, interact with them anymore if they really screw up and we can't resolve it. All right, so lining wherever the skin meets anything else. We're going to do the hands. But you're right, Grey Mouser. That's exactly what it is. People are embarrassed and they're flustered, and then they get angry because it's a good defense, and then they get embarrassed or, regretful about being angry, but then they're like, but it wasn't all my fault, and, all that kind of thing. And it is hard to deal with, and, I guess being an evolved human being is part of that is just learning how to deal with those things in the situation. But not everybody gets there. So I'm just going to black in. I haven't done the staff at all. And the staff is probably going to start dark, even if I change it. So I'm just really blocking in around the hand. Yeah, exactly. And then they get defensive, and then you just can't communicate, right? Yeah. Sadly, our society makes being wrong like a cardinal sin, and so that's the defensiveness is the automatic response a lot of the time. So I don't blame people. I'm just sad about it. But yeah, 6 dogs means your dog sitter is like worship your dog sitter like the queen or king they are, because they're saving you. They are saving your bacon. Fingers. All right. So lining between the fingers. Even though that looks really dark, you need it. Like, you can always make it a little less dark as we progress on. If you think your lining is too dark for the model, you can always put like a glaze of the skin tone over it, especially with fingers. But you need enough shadow there so that you can see the fingers. It's probably the only thing she had, though. Like, if you're panicking, like you've been stuck in this and you're taking care of someone's dogs and they all get sick and all you've got is, your truck and you're, like, panicking, and yeah, I can see it. Still probably not the best dog sitter, but yeah. I mean, I don't blame you. Like, it's just like displeased, will not use you again. Yes. Yeah, our dog sitter is going to stay in our house. Oh. Oh. That's too bad. Yeah, sounds like just a bad situation in general, Hyper. Sorry you had to go through that. Like, that's my great fear, that my dog gets sick while I'm away anyway. Because I'm pretty sure that nobody can deal with it as well as I can. Whether that's true or not, that's just my gut reaction. Alright, so I'm just going to block in real dark shadow under the sleeve here, because there's going to be a cast shadow. Yeah, truly a mess. Sounds like a mess. And that's exactly why some people with pets just never travel. They just don't. They're just like, you know what? Not worth the stress. Alrighty, and then we got that one hand left. But you can see how shading around this hand, like, look, this hand's just a blob. This hand, we can see all the fingers, right? You can see that it's a hand, and that's why lining. That's why you line. Yeah. Yeah. For sure, Slayer. Yeah, I don't know. Right now, a dog is all I can handle, I think. Kiki may be our last dog. I like to travel with David enough that it may be that we do not have a dog after Kiki is done. Much as I love dogs, and I've given a large part of my life to trying to get this breed, keep it going. I'm getting tired and burned out. And I'm kind of annoyed at the fact that I still have to do so very much all myself for this breed. So I'm thinking about it. And I'm stepping back from the board for sure. Yeah, for sure, Dogfather. Aw. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough when your own animal passes, but when an animal that you've been like had placed in your hands to take care of, I would be traumatized probably. Yeah, my dogs never did well in kennels. And they were always stressed out and unhappy, and that's why we went just for the pet sitter for Kiki. But yeah, like I said, it's like even the pet sitter like almost canceled on us way too late for us to rework our trip. So I'm just like, parents it is. We'll just coordinate with our folks. Though they're not getting any younger, so we better get to it if we're gonna do it. There we go. So just like, and now we can see that hand, right? And since the cat is going to be black, it doesn't matter if I'm putting this heavy line around the edges. Yeah, it's just not, I mean, it's already bad enough. Like losing a pet is already bad enough. So when you're watching somebody else's pet and then you have to say goodbye to them, like the only thing that would be running through my head was the fact that I'm not their person. And like just feeling terrible about the fact that their person is not there with them. Like, I don't think I could handle it. I don't think I would. Once Kiki's old, I don't think we're going to travel for a couple of years. Like with Kiri, I would never. There was no way. Like, because I just had to be there with her, right? I consider that my responsibility as a pet owner, to be there for my old guys when they go. So yeah, I could never do it. Alrighty. So we've got that. Now I gotta get the mouth lined. Because again, the face is just a blob, right? There's no features. Oh, bitrate is having issues. Wow. So let's get the line of the mouth here. And usually I will come at it from underneath so that I'm pushing into the upper lip. Because you want the upper lip to be dark anyway. Usually you just paint it as a shadow. You don't really put color on it. because it's just not big enough to show color at 28 mil. So we'll line the mouth. Cool, Hyper. Yeah, I mean, I've traveled quite a bit in my life up to now. And I enjoy traveling, but yeah, the dog just adds an extra level of stress that I think I could do without. Don't so much mind going down to Arizona because I